I've been doing this for not that long. I didn't even realize that it was anything unusual. But I've been working in like the tech field for about going close to 20 years at this point. Been working as an Oracle database administrator and doing quite well doing that for a long time. But I feel like ever since I had kids, I've been really just feeling a bit disconnected from it. But I continue to do it because it pays well, and I'm naturally, I guess, kind of have an affinity for it and pretty good at it. So it got to a point where my cut. Okay, so I'll go back a little bit, but I guess about 4 years ago, I started working with my ancestors a bit more, and I've been learning that most other cultures work with their ancestors and venerate them and honor them, and we don't. It's not. It's considered kind of strange here in the United States, and um,
How did you decide to do that?
I was. I guess I could be honest, but I was drawn to hoodoo, to be honest, and so there's a big element of it there, and so I just set up like a little mini altar and started um, meditating in front of it and giving them offerings, as far as like, say I made a good meal and I'd give them a plate, or if I'm out walking, I'll pick flowers. And but I kept kind of seeing people in some of my groups talking about how they could actually, their ancestors were talking to them, and so I was like, you can talk to them, huh? And so one day I was just meditating, and I remember hearing, like, internally, like not outside of my body, but I heard like a woman, and she had an accent. It was like a southern type of accent. And it's because I had asked to speak to one of my ancestors. And so she came through and gave me her name, her first name, and I didn't recognize it. And it turns out it's because I don't really know my mother's mother. So that's my grandma. I never met her. Sorry, I met her when I was like two, but I don't remember.
Right.
So then they lost contact with her because she kind of disappeared and had some kind of mental illness. And so my mom used to fly to Chicago and try to look for her, and was so upset about it for years and couldn't find her. And so she told me her name, and so I didn't recognize it. And then she told me what she used to do for a living, and I was like, okay. And then we just developed a relationship because I really got into herbalism because of her. So, my kids had asthma at the time, and they just were continuously sick, and I was trying to figure out what was going on. It was around COVID time, and I didn't want them on like all those medications all the time that the doctor kept trying